Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brew review. And today we are going to something special again. We have talked about this brewery several times in the past few weeks. We are gonna have another one by the Musketeers. And this time not a bucket list series, but another one from the Collab series. Now, I must admit that the Collab series is a very tiny series. It only has 2 iterations. The first one was the Dirty Talk collab with Nick Brill, top chef from Belgium. And this second collab is a collab with a very old Belgian beverage company, Cidrerie Ruwet Ciders. And as the name might give away, Ruwet makes cider, apple cider. Now, they have been around since 1898, so quite long. They made pretty much the best known and one of the best ciders in Belgium. I know that we do import Somersby, for example, but the original Belgian is Ruwet, and that is why the Musketeers chose them to collaborate with. They make a very nice, crisp and sweet cider with freshly pressed Jonah Gold apples, another classic here. And what the Musketeers did with that was make a 7.2, I believe. Let me check that before I lie to you guys. Yes, a 7.2% ABV. Light crisp triple, and they already put crisp in the name, the crisp Fizz. This is a apple cider infused triple, basically. They are relatively secretive when it comes to the ingredients. They just say blonde beer re-fermented in the bottle, ingredients water, malted barley, cider, hop and yeast. And it says here in a very tiny logo that they collabed with Ruwet. Now, the shelf life on this one is quite okay. This one is until June 2026. But I have to disappoint many of you. If you want to try it, I hope for all of you guys that you can find it in some drink center along the way, like Van der Molen in Stabroek, Konings in Weinigem, maybe the Kenyi in Essen, one of the large ones, because it is pretty much sold out everywhere. So, enjoy this with me. I don't have the proper glass. Well, there is no proper glass for this, so I'm using my Troubadour glass by the Musketeers, of course. As always, a branded black bottle cap. Ooh, already very aromatic. And I know that I have been surprised quite often in the past few months, thinking that some beers are paler than I expected, or just the other way around. But in this case, it's actually exactly what I expected. A yellowy golden blonde, quite fizzy as the name makes us suspect, but very active. Lovely yellowish beigeish foam. 2 distinct layers here, the larger bubbles from pouring and then the tiny bubbles from bubbling up, so the effervescence of this beer is very clear. Also, let's take a moment to appreciate this bottle or this label. Just like the other one from the Collab series, it has a gold silver plated logo. I like it. It is loud and calming at the same time. And of course, this matte green, you may have noticed that I do like that color. Hence the walls, the table and everything, even my business cards and stickers. But yeah, I really like it. It is quite calm. The idea of the green with the dark silver and the white, I like it. So, the head on this beer keeps growing. goes to show how active it is. This has a really interesting aroma, a very interesting palate. First off, a lot of acidity from that cider, from the apples. And even though it's made with Jonah Gold, like sweet apples, you still get a lot of acidity from that, a lot of sourness in there. But at the same time, it is a bit of carbon dioxide, of course, because it is really active. But also a bit malty, and that I didn't expect. And slightly hoppy, but very subtle. And if you visit their website, you will read that they did that intentionally because they didn't want the hops to push away the apple. So let's see if this flavor is as the aroma. Cheers. Yeah, that is something special. I can honestly say this is unlike anything I've ever tasted. And of course we have tasted some beers with apple in them. The Floris apple, for example, which I do not recommend at all. But also the Lindemans apple lambic, which is pretty good. There are so many fruit beers that are unexpectedly good, for example. But this is a whole other class, because even though the Lindemans apple lambic is lambic based, it is way sweeter, way more like a lemonade, let's say, like an appetizer. While this beer, first off, is 7.2%, and the Lindemans is only like 3.5 or something. And we really taste that 7.2%, but it is also quite sour, quite acidic, and that is of course from the cider. And for some reason I do like my ciders a bit more on the sour side. One of the best ones I've ever had, for example, was from London, Old Rosie. If you guys are in the neighborhood, look that up and taste it. It was to die for. But yeah, this is really interesting. I think they managed to find a great balance between that cider and beer, and I think that they used quite a lot of cider in this beer. It's not really dry, it is slightly like really sour, like green apples meets lime, for example, while at the time maintaining that triple character. So it is sour and fruity. I think this is one of the most interesting beers I've tasted in quite a while. It's not gonna be the best thing I've tasted in a while, but it is definitely one of the most interesting ones. Oh, I really get that apple in the aftertaste as well. So the aftertaste is, as it always is, a softer, smoother version of what we're drinking, where we can get some other details. And I said it is slightly sweet, yeah, but we also get a lot of that fruitiness, but without the sourness, without the acidity, and that is downright awesome. Very pleasant. Also, this is so refreshing, having this in the sun in summertime. Wow. And I think that this pairs great with a lot of summer foods, For example, like herb heavy marinated meat, barbecue, things like that. Yeah, actually I wish they would make another batch just so I can take it with me on tastings and introduce people to it. I think there's definitely a market for this, and I think that a lot of people I know would find this very interesting as well. Okay, so how should I score this? Love the color, love the looks, like the bottle and the label as well. Aroma, absolutely interesting. We could talk for 15 minutes about the aroma alone. Still there, so going strong. Flavor wise, again, very interesting, very balanced, very complex, and I like that complexity. I think I can't go any less than like a 4. I cannot be this enthusiastic without giving it a 4. Yeah. I could go lower, but I would lie. I hate to lie to you guys. No. I think this won't be a favorite of many people that I know, but it will be interesting for each and every one of them. And it just springs to mind, I think this would be awesome as a base for beer cocktails as well.